here's your conservative, but not bitter host, Todd Huff.
Well, that is right. You are listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. And I am your host, Todd Huff. Email todd@toddhuffshow.com. You can send me your thoughts, questions, opinions, ideas on things we need to talk about. You can send me your adoration and praise. That will even be accepted here by email or by the Huff hotline. You can talk to Todd there as well, 317-455-5250. Play those from time to time. I got to get better at that. I get into talking about the things that I want to discuss, things that I think are important. I need to get better at playing some of those. And you can also connect with us on email, or excuse me, by Facebook as well, which is kind of our social media home base, facebook.com/Todd Huff Show. Just posted I'll pay Facebook Live telling people they can watch hour 2 of the program on YouTube. Problem is, I look a little rough in this thing. I need to shave. I need a haircut. Don't know if Governor Whitmer would let me get a haircut if I was in. Actually, I know she wouldn't. That's something I want to jump into now. So we've been talking about these governors, talking about Governor Pritzker in Illinois last hour, talking a little bit about Governor Holcomb, talked about Mayor de Blasio putting up fencing in New York City to keep people off the beaches. Again, I'm surprised that the radical left, the socialist left, the communist left actually believes that fences work. They don't believe walls work on the southern border. I don't know why they would believe fences work in the Northeast, but nonetheless, that's what de Blasio is threatening to do. Don't make him do it. You better not make him do it. He really doesn't want to.
Militia members are now
that's what I want to get to next.
Enforcing the closure of the walk.
Gee whiz. That's what I want to get to next, and it wouldn't pause. See if we do this again. Of course, I won't pause. Anyway, so I want to move to Governor Whitmer. Governor Whitmer, which is another neighbor 2 hours, a neighbor to the north in the state of Michigan. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who has proven that she is not the least bit, not the least bit intimidated, not the least bit hesitant in dropping the metaphorical hammer on citizens in her state to get them to take care of themselves. Governor Whitmer, her orders have been defied. More and more people are upset with this. In fact, the New York Times, in doing a study of cell phone data, this is as reported in the Washington Examiner, by the way, New York Times conducted a study of cell phone data across the country and found that in Michigan, 39% of people stayed home last week, a dip from its peak at 50%. So that's 11% fewer people stayed at home in 1 week. Though many people have stayed home through most of the pandemic, roughly 1 million people began moving last week. And so Governor Whitmer, at one of her press conferences, explaining to the media that these are not suggestions, these are not helpful hints, these are dictates and orders, they are the law because, of course, I guess she can do whatever she wants. I understand in times of emergency, that extra, we've talked about this. In fact, I've been understanding to a point about this, not this specifically, but governors taking action in ways that is not necessarily consistent with the way that they are to govern at other normal times. There are times of emergency, but my goodness, even at times of emergency, which again, there's a lot of questions about this, right? Lots of questions about the degree of this. I know our death total is over. Did I see 90,000? Is that what our death total? I'm looking at she's shaking her head. She doesn't know. But I think I saw 90,000. We've just eclipsed. But anyway, Governor Whitmer here explaining to the media why she's effectively, I guess, the know-it-all, the beginning and end of all all that we need to know, at least in the state of Michigan. So you can hear this exchange. You can hear a reporter ask a question. You can hear her articulate an answer. But I want you to listen to the very, very end of this. She says these executive orders are not a suggestion. They're not optional. They're not helpful hints. And again, these are the same governors. I posted a meme that someone created. Had Jim Halpert sipping coffee, looking through the window, the office television show, looking through the window of the break room out into the office. And it says something like, me listening to, me watching Democrat governors act like totalitarians after telling us for years that Trump was a totalitarian. So that's very close to what we're watching here. So listen to this response. Listen to Gretchen Whitmer tell folks that she, in fact, is the grand poobah. She is, in fact, their benevolent dictator, caring greatly. Of course, taking away freedoms of people because she cares so much. This is what she says.
Governor Whitmer, armed militia members are now pledging to block police from enforcing the closure of the Wasso barbershop that is open in defiance of the stay-at-home order. What are your thoughts on this and those doubting your authority to enforce these orders?
Thanks for the question. I first want to start by saying I know how frustrating this can be and tough this can be for people across our state, people that are self-isolating, people that are doing all of the right things and contributed to this decline that we've seen. I also know a lot of people that could use a haircut. Yours truly included, as well as my husband, frankly. But what matters most here is that we are on a trajectory where we have saved lives, where the most crucial thing is that business owners have customers who will come to them and employees that know it's safe to show up to work. What we need to do is continue what we have done. It's working. And for people that want to voice their frustration, that's fine. But I expect people to follow the law. These executive orders are not a suggestion. They're not optional. They're not helpful hints.
There you go. Have you heard anything this disconnected from reality? She thinks that this is about people really wanting haircuts at a time of crisis. That's how she kind of frames this. I know people need haircuts. I can't do a northern accent, but I know people need haircuts. I need a haircut. My husband needs a haircut. Whatever, right? Fine. But that's not what this is about. Freedom. Folks, this is about people being able to operate their business. This is about people being able to provide for their families, provide a livelihood. No one's making anybody. Have you seen? The only people that are trying to use force here is the government. By the way, government is force. I don't mean to go through this kind of in an elementary way, but government is force. That is ultimately at its core what government is. If government says you're going to do something, they will force you to do it. We see examples of this, everywhere, right? Government is force. Really, government is what the people of this country, or in a local setting, people of a state or local community, have agreed upon as, in a perfect world anyway, before we have those who like to use heavy-handed tactics and dictatorial dictates, but it's before they've entered the scene. But government is, when you have a self-governed people, they basically say, this is the line at which people can act until government can step in and use force. I mean, to be arrested. When you're arrested, arresting someone is the use of force. The question is, when are these things justified? When is it justified for the state to step in? No one's trying to use force. No one's forcing one single person to get a haircut. No one's forcing one single person. I'm watching this guy, New Jersey. I said New York earlier. It's a New Jersey gym owner who's opening up in spite of the shutdown, the lockdown. No one's forcing anybody to go to the gym. Yeah, but Todd, if someone goes to that gym, somebody's gonna spread coronavirus, COVID-19 to someone, and then it's going to spread to someone else. Well, wait a second. I thought we were staying safe if we were at home. That's what they told us. You want to stay safe, you don't want to get this, stay at home, socially distance yourself, all these things, right? That's what they told us. Wear a mask. First it was don't wear a mask, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Helps protect someone else, but it doesn't really protect you. Now they've kind of leveled, by the way, they've leveled a guilt trip on the American people here. You don't have to wear a mask, but if you care about your fellow man, that's really what this is about. It's about protecting somebody else. You not care about the other person? Well, sure I care about the other person. Then why don't you wear a mask? Well, I don't have COVID. How do you know? Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, some people, they've been tested. Some people have the antibodies, right? Some people clearly don't have this, but you got to wear a mask. Could be unintentionally spreading it to someone else. But wait a minute. I thought you were telling me I had to stay home anyway, or that people that were worried about getting it should stay home, which seems to me at some point where this has to go. The people who are most susceptible need to make sure that they don't get around the virus, right? I mean, there is a risk. There is a risk with a lot of things. But this idea that we simply, by not letting people get haircuts are going to somehow prevent further spread. Again, at what cost? 100,000 businesses shut down forever so far. That's in whatever this is, 2 months now. We go another 2 months, what's it going to be? It's not going to be 200,000 businesses. It's going to be an exponential factor. It's going to be a much bigger number than 100,000. It's not going to be the same linear growth. We're going to see that curve. We talk about flattening the curve. This curve is going to shoot upward. Remember that at the beginning? 15 days to flatten the curve. Do you remember that? 15 days to flatten the curve. Here we are 2 months later. Back to Dave Portnoy's point in his Barstool Sports rant on Twitter last week. 15 days to flatten the curve. Now we're 8 weeks into this, 10 weeks into this, whatever the number is, I don't even know. The rest of us are supposed to follow these instructions, which, by the way, are not helpful hints, as the governor of Michigan said. They're not suggestions. This is the law of the land. You will stay home. You will not get a haircut. I love how they always take what seems to be the most trivial thing, the most trivial action that someone can take, right? Getting a haircut. They want to make it about, someone just wants to get a haircut. How selfish is that? Can they not shelter at home in order to not have a haircut? Can they not have a bad hair day for a couple of weeks? That's what they want you to think. But folks, this is the livelihoods of people. This is people who make money, make revenue, and of course they take some of that revenue in the form of taxes from the taxpayer, from the citizen who's producing a service that has a value in the community. They're taking that money. Now those tax dollars are dead too. Where do they think they're going to pay for all their freebies that they're wanting to give away? Oh, we'll just extend unemployment here. What was it? California is now borrowing money to pay back or whatever the deal is with unemployment. They can't even afford to pay the unemployment benefits. But we'll do more of that? How does that make sense? None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. Americans know it. Americans are tired of it. They're fed up. I don't care whether they're in Massachusetts and Maine or Michigan or Indiana, Utah, Texas, Oklahoma. It doesn't matter. People are sick of this. And then you look at the states that have reopened. And again, there's no guarantee. I am not celebrating as though this thing is over and defeated. I am saying that there is definitely good news. These places have yet to have spikes as we've been as many have feared they would. Many have told us that that's a guarantee, a foregone conclusion. In fact, I think some of them were actually hoping to cheer for this so that they could blame Republican governors for a spike in COVID cases and, of course, an increased number of deaths of COVID cases. I mean, that's how this feels. Everything is political. We're in the midst of the Well, we're at the beginning of a campaign, 2020 campaign. Anyway, I got to take a break. Long in this segment, you're listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at zuluscape.com.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the word. For on time.
Are you an electrician, plumber, or handyman looking for an 8-to-5 job that pays you what you're worth? Copper Ridge Home Services wants you. Our veteran-owned family business offers holiday pay, weekends off, and on-site training for entry-level positions. Our team is growing, so if you have a can-do attitude, we want you to be part of that growth. Ready for a change? Give Copper Ridge a call at 317-839-6100. That's 317-839-6100. Copper Ridge Home Services. We value your time.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. Welcome back. So I've been spending a lot of time talking about governors, talking about mayors, talking about some of the things that they've been, I guess, willing to do to take control, to rule with an iron fist over their citizens, whether they're in the state of Michigan, Illinois, wherever. Even talked a little bit about the governor of Indiana and the at least the double standard, right? The hypocrisy there with the trip to Brown County, no social distancing, no mask as he picks up some takeout order at the Hobnob in Brown County, saying it was a momentary lapse in vigilance. I tell you, the people that write these things, I just, I admire. You know when someone really screws up, I just admire the very rare situation where someone just writes the response, if you will, the press release, whatever. And it's like, we really just screwed this up. I don't have anything to say for myself. I made a really bad decision. That's what I did. I wasn't thinking. I just was I don't know if I was in a hurry, didn't think about this. They don't use terms like momentary lapse of vigilance. What is this? It's like we're fighting. It's like it's Batman out there. Like he's Batman fighting the evils in Gotham City. We're dealing with a virus here. We're dealing with common sense things. Momentary vigilance. Lapse in momentary. I just don't understand this stuff. Anyway, it's political speak. It's one of the reasons why people loathe politics, is because they have to be subjected to this sort of talk and thinking and so forth. I want to talk a little bit here about Justin Amash. You may have known, this guy, I tell you, this guy, in my opinion, has completely just gone nutty. This guy went from someone who at one point I could agree with, where he was coming from. And now the guy is, he's left the Republican Party, which I'm no defender of the Republican Party. But the idea that we're at a point now where a third party is going to effectively be a legitimate choice is just not where we are. And we're going to be speaking with Indiana Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, Mr. Rainwater, I'll speak with him tomorrow, I believe. So we'll air that interview later this week. And we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to be nice. Got no problem. I probably agree with a lot. I have a lot of libertarian. I'm not 100% libertarian. Some of these beliefs I think are, there's a point where the government has to have involvement in some things. At some point it's anarchy. At some point it's anarchy, and anarchy is not good. We need some government involvement. Our founders understood that. That's why they said limited government. They also understood that most times people err on the side of giving the government too much power. And so I'm in with libertarians on most issues. In fact, some of you might be libertarian. Define yourself as libertarian. I consider myself libertarian to a large degree. But there's a couple of key issues that we would differ on. But look, so much, there's a lot of similarity. We could agree on the vast majority of things. And we could agree that government is often becomes the problem instead of the solution. But if it's kept to its actual constitutional role, then our government could have a healthy relationship with its citizens, with its people. Anyway, so I've got Justin Amash here, who had recently come out and said he was running for president in 2020, which to me was stupid. Again, you cannot, unless you have other motives besides winning. If winning is your objective, for Justin Amash to come out a couple of weeks ago, whenever this was, maybe a month ago, and say he's running for president and you really think you're going to win, that's insane. Again, in 2016, we had Evan McMullin in the state of Utah, and I know some people really thought that Evan McMullin was going to win this thing. In what universe is this even remotely possible? And I can say that with all due respect to these people. This is not personal. This is just crazy talk because they weren't even on all the ballots in all the states. How are you going to win an election where you're not even on all the state ballots? Now, you might You might be able to make a case that, hey, ballot access is a big deal. Hey, I will hear you out on that. And I'm probably on your side on that, right? We can't just give preferential treatment to someone who's either a Democrat or a Republican. Whatever the requirements are to get on a ballot should be uniformly applied, no matter what the person's political affiliation is, or no affiliation for that matter. Whatever the rules are to get on the ballot should be the rules, and maybe there are some that need to be reconsidered and possibly amended and changed or deleted. I don't want to get into that, and I don't even know if I know enough at this point to tell you, but I do know this. The idea that Justin Amash is going to waltz in, or was going to waltz in, and win the 2020 election, I would have taken any odds. I'm not even a gambler. Any odds that you can possibly come up with, I would have taken those. Because the chances are truly zero. It's zero. It's not even 0.1, right? It's not 0.01. It is zero. In 2020, it will either be on November 3rd at the conclusion or whenever they count the ballots, right? Hanging chads. I mean, we may have a redo of hanging chads for all we know with mail-in ballots, whatever's going to stem from all this, coronavirus consequences here, whatever's going to stem from all this, who knows how this is going to impact the election. So we may have hanging chads, 2.0 for all we know at this point. But my point is, whatever's going to happen, once they count those ballots, once they've sued and taken this to the Supreme Court or whatever they're going to do, if it's that close of an election, just like they did in 2000, whatever the case, whatever's going to happen, it's either going to be, well, I'm going to pause. I'm going to say Joe Biden, but I'm going to put a caveat there. I'm going to put an asterisk by that. And I'm going to say, unless the Democrats decide to nominate someone else between now and their convention. So it's going to be it's going to be Joe Biden or the Democrat nominee. That's one potential winner, one potential president, or the other is going to be Donald Trump in a second term. There will not be President Justin Amash, and it has nothing to do with his dropping out. He had zero chance of winning, and this is not personal. This is why I think we're still at a point. If you want to see a return to liberty, I'm not saying that third parties have no purpose, but the purpose right now is not to have major victories in federal positions like president, U.S. congressman, U.S. senator. That isn't going to happen. Maybe local elections, maybe some independents or other individuals can win. But by and large, folks, this is still, like it or hate it, a two-party system. And the best thing to do is for conservative, libertarian types, limited government types to get control of the Republican Party. I know it maybe make you want to dry heave when I say that, because you think, man, we got to go through the politics and all that stuff of party politics and just all that yuck, right? I'm not a fan of that either. But it is not, at this particular point in time, the idea that third party can come in and successfully pull off a victory in a position like president. And by the way, I'm not suggesting that we should even have voted for Justin Amash over Trump. I would not have, not even anywhere close. Justin Amash is, I think, quite ideologically confused at this particular point in his life. But be that as it may, still better than President Biden. There's no doubt about that. That's not the choice. It's a false choice for us to think that. It's a false choice for us to think that. It's either going to be President Donald Trump in a second term, or it's going to be President Biden or whoever else the Democrats get to be their nominee at the convention. And I've got to take a break. Sit tight. Be back here in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter. To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Ever ask yourself, What does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Hi, I'm Greg Hubler from Greg Hubler Chevrolet. You know, a promise can get lost in a big city, but in a smaller town, a promise made had better be a promise kept. That's why the Greg Hubler Promise covers every vehicle we sell. All new Chevys receive a 3-year, 45,000-mile scheduled maintenance, plus complimentary roadside assistance and a free car wash with every visit. A promise made is a promise kept. Stop by Greg Hubler Chevy today or visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change Counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. That's 800-764-9168.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
Welcome back. By the way, this program is brought to you by our friends at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing for those of you in the central Indiana listening area. In fact, Jod and his team at Economy are offering the following installation, I guess you could say, specials or discounts or just bonuses, whatever the term is here, the other benefits for installing a system with Economy throughout the month of May. And here's what they are: instant rebates and 0% financing from Train, which is America's most trusted brand for 6 years straight. They're offering applicable rebates or helping you with those from utility companies. There's a $500 discount after all other offers. And they're going to be donating $500 to the nonprofit charity of your choice. As John wanted me to let you know, these nonprofits are struggling as well. And I mentioned before that you could even choose. It's your choice, but you could choose to support our friends at Shepherd Community, who help young people with their spiritual development, educational development, emotional development. They help lift people out of poverty by teaching them principles, not teaching them to be dependent upon someone to take care of them long term, but helping people reach their potential. And so anyway, economy is how you can get those benefits and have that donation made to charity on your behalf. For more information, visit economyheatingandair.com. That's economyheatingandair.com. Here's another way. I like this. I love it when I see people use the logic of the left and they turn it on the left. How about this? Headline, Washington Examiner. California town declares itself sanctuary city for businesses, opens up in defiance of stay-at-home order. I love this, right? We're told, remember, sanctuary city. This is the term that has been created to describe those cities across America who are providing a sanctuary for someone who is here illegally. They're not going to work with ICE or the federal government on deportation or any of that stuff. In fact, they're going to ignore it. They're going to shelter. They're going to provide a sanctuary for people who are here in our country illegally, even though that is clearly the law of the land, the immigration law. You can't be here unless you're allowed to be here by our federal government. Immigration is a federal issue. This has been established in the courts. Even though that's the case, there's some cities that say we are still not going to comply. We're not going to take on this burden, whatever that might mean, to make a phone call. If someone's apprehended who doesn't have the legal status to be in this country, some of these departments say, nope, not going to use any of that manpower from our local department to help the enforcement of immigration. We're just not going to do it. We're going to give these folks effectively sanctuary in our cities, no matter what the consequences. Then, of course, you've got some egregious situations or examples of people using their freedom, using the sanctuary city to harm people. That's in the case with Kate Steinle. But now we've got people, these towns are getting... are using the terms and the logic to fight against these out-of-control government orders to stay at home. I'm going to read quickly from this, and I've got to take a break. A Central California city has declared itself a, quote, sanctuary city for businesses and will open up in defiance of the state's stay-at-home order. The city council in Atwater passed a resolution Friday allowing businesses to open, despite Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom's order for businesses to remain closed. According to ABC 30's Vanessa Vasconcelos, don't know if that's pronounced properly, but I did my best. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Atwater affirming the city's commitment to fundamental rights of liberty, of life, liberty, and property, and declaring the City of Atwater a sanctuary city for all businesses, the resolution stated. So basically, we're a sanctuary city for those who want to be free, who want to engage in the free market as they choose, as they so desire. We're no longer going to comply with our governors, and this is the governor of the state of California, Governor Newsom. We're no longer going to comply with these radical, over-the-top, dramatic steps, limitations on, human activity, liberty, and the like. We're not going to comply with that. We're affirming our commitment to the fundamental rights to life, liberty, and property. Good for them. Good for them. This is one way to respond to the left, and I love it when they take those terms, when they take those the silliness of the radical left. They repurpose it for their own position, and they throw it back in the face of those that are lovers of big government. So they become a sanctuary city for those who believe that businesses should be able to operate freely. Good stuff. City of Atwater, California. Got to take a break. You are listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegee, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Welcome back. I was trying to think during the break if there were any other examples that we could use with some of the silly things that the left tells us. Are there any other examples of some of their terminology that we could turn and throw back at them with this issue of COVID-19, coronavirus, course, we've already got the sanctuary city example. I was wondering if there's something with their position on abortion. I was wondering if that's something that they tell us in abortion that we could apply and throw back in their face here. Take any of their other crazy positions on things like guns. These are things that cities should do. They should find a way to turn the craziness back around on these radical Democrats, cities in states like California. And the sanctuary city approach is pretty darn good, if you ask me. We're going to be a sanctuary from government oppression, actual oppression, where people are not allowed to live freely. We're going to be a sanctuary to that. We believe in life, liberty, and property, which candidly is something that can't be said about many in positions of power and government today. So I think that they should continue. They should continue to do this. And if I spend some time like you, we could probably come up with other examples of things that we could say and do to kind of illustrate the hypocrisy and the insanity. So we know that the states that are reopening, and it pains people to say this, it pains people like Politico to admit this, but we know that these states are not yet, and again, this could change. This is not a declaration of victory over coronavirus, although if what Dr. Lozano said on Laura Ingraham last, I think it was Thursday evening, saying that she had 100% of the patients she had given hydroxychloroquine to, they had all seen improvement. They all had no symptoms within 24 hours and lost their fevers within, I think, 2 days. If that's true, then we can declare victory over coronavirus, over COVID-19. But if something like that isn't true, we can't do that. We still have to be understanding that there could be flare-ups and outbreaks. But what we know so far is that places like Florida that have reopened, that have kind of been towards the front of the charge towards reopening, haven't faced the consequences, haven't seen the results, I guess you could say, that the radical left and the media. I'm looking here at a newsbusters.org article. Politico, Governor DeSantis looks more accurate than the Andrew Cuomo adoring media. So basically, even Politico has to recognize that when they were criticizing DeSantis and his approach to reopening Florida, they now have to admit that, hey, it's not as bad as we were led to believe. The reopening has not proven to be what we feared that it was. It doesn't mean that it can't get there. Please don't misunderstand me. I want to be abundantly clear on that. But so far, based upon empirical evidence, things that we've seen, by the way, there's more empirical evidence that reopening the way that these governors have been reopening economies is better. There's more evidence that is a good step than there is that Trump colluded with Russia, right? And that was a narrative that we followed, that they pushed down our throats for over, 3-4 years, whatever it is now. So even the media is having to recognize that places that reopened have not yet faced the dire consequences and dramatic upticks in infections and spread of the disease since reopening. So important to point out, and I've got to take a break. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back, $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit freegieauctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegie, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit freegieauctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the health care they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, president of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Welcome back. So all of these things that are playing out before our eyes right now, governors acting badly, governors like Whitmer saying, hey, this is not a suggestion. What I say goes. All these things, which stem from governors to county councils, right? Town councils around this country. These things will all, now I don't know if all town councils will be up for election, but these things will all be on the ballots effectively in November. We have to remember that. We have to remember who's on the side of liberty. We have to remember who's on the side of the Constitution. We have to remember who's on the side of the American people, who believes in the American people, who believes that people need to be told what to do by their governors, while the governors can basically go out and do whatever they want because they are apparently above the law, whether that is violate their own social distancing norms or get haircuts, as we've seen the mayor of Chicago do, or leave the state, as the governor of Illinois, his wife and daughter did, to take care of essential business, while the rest of us are told to hunker down and to suck it up and to stick in this together with one another. That'll be the decision in November. I've got to go, guys. Thanks for listening. SDGC tomorrow. Take care. As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you